Bear.
Thank you, Mayor. We have two items on slate for study session tonight. The first one will be with the Neighborhood Commission's home repair grant, and to give us an update on that will be building official Alan Napoli.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. There we go. Tonight, just give you a quick update on the Neighborhood Commission Home Repair Grant. We're in the second year of the grant. As you know, last budget year, the first year we had it, we did 3 grant projects. Out of all the applications we had after we did those grant projects, we still had some applications left, so we contacted them. Out of the ones we had left, 3 of them still needed some work done and still apply or still applicable for the grant. And based on those 3 and 1 other, we've done so far 4 grant projects this year. The funding allocations for them, one of them was through neighborhood grant, did 2 of the projects. Neighbors Helping Neighbors did 1 of those the 3 regular projects. The home repair grant was in November. We re-advertised it a little more prominently on our website and on our social medias. We received 18 applications. Out of that, 14 of them we requested additional information. Out of those 14, only 6 sent me the information I requested. So far, we have met with all 6 of those applicants to review their requests and do site inspections on their requests. Out of those 14 applications, we did have 1 emergency grant. When I do get the applications, I look at what they're requesting on it. The one that was an emergency application was an electrical service issue. She had indicated on her application that half her power in the house was out, and the half was affecting her furnace. And we were in November getting ready for that first cold snap we had in November. So I contacted her, and I contacted Neighbors Helping Neighbors and our neighborhood grant, neighborhood commission. Found out that it was her main breaker. She had a Zinsco panel. The Zinsco panel company went out of business in 1983. They don't make the product anymore. You can find some online stuff out there, but they're also been known to be fire hazards. So we thought, let's just give her a new panel. So we got a couple quotes, and Mr. Electric out of Smithville is the one that did the work. Neighbors Helping Neighbors funded 2/3 of that, and the Neighborhood Commission funded 1/3 of that project. The other projects we had going on, we had a bay window and patio door replacement. As you can see, the bay window on the left is where, look, you see the dry rot and everything around the windows along the bottom edge there. And there's some other damage to it that's kind of hard to see. We replaced it with the bay window you see on the right. Patio door in the back, same house. If you look down along the bottom of the door along the sill, it was rotted out through there, the door jamb and everything. You could actually start seeing the sill plate and some of the floor joists underneath there. So we got that door replaced and all fixed up for her. The next one was a storm door, front door, and some flooring work. Here the homeowner had the front door that she wanted to have used, but the existing door she had a gap between the hardwood floor and the door, and the hinges on her storm door had actually pulled out of the jamb, and it was only being used by one closure, and that was barely hanging on. So if you look, you can see the flooring on the left and how they repaired it when it was all said and done. Front door, you see on the left what she had before. She had a wood door that she wanted, so we replaced that wood door put that wood door in there for her. And then the storm door, one on the left is what she had, and then one on the right is what she picked out and they had installed for her. And we had a front porch, we had handrail, masonry wall, and landing. The handrail, if you look, it was a metal handrail, which you can't see there, is that handrail wobbled really bad, going up and down. So we had it replaced with a wooden handrail that's secure, and she's happy with it. It supports everything and works very well. Also, she had a masonry pony wall. If you look at the left, it was starting to have some gaps through it. If you can't see it on the other side where the stairs were, but along the stairs on the back was a gap, and water was getting behind the wall and under the porch and everything. They did replace it using primarily all the bricks that were there. They took them out and reused the bricks there. They do need to come back and still clean it up. You can tell it's still a little bit dirty, but they need to clean it up. And then we did the front porch. It's kind of hard to see in the before picture, but down towards the bottom of the step on that lower landing and the shadowed area, it was broken up really bad. So they went over and they cut a little piece out a few inches down, refixed it up, and then they had them put an epoxy coating on those stairs. But you can see where a little bit of that coating's coming out, and they're coming back to fix that up. So this is the electrical panel I was talking to you about, the Zinsco panels on the left. Put the new panel in, works great, she loves it, and everything's working fine, so she's safe with her electrical panel and don't have to worry about any issues going on there. And I'm open for any questions.
Thanks, Alan. Any questions? We're good. You were good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, next up will be Police Chief Fred Ferris and City Attorney Matthias Young, who will discuss the cryptocurrency ATM issue and a proposed bill that is on this agenda.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. Let me get this up here. As you guys probably know, or you all know, that the incidents of scams are continuing to rise, and there never seems to be a shortage of them. One of the ones that we're dealing with a lot now, a lot more often, is cryptocurrency. Using certain ATMs that just deal in crypto, people are coerced or talked into bailing somebody out of jail or rescuing somebody or paying fines or court fees, none of which are legitimate. And one of the ones that got our attention here recently was a $97,000 loss. Somebody was convinced into depositing that into a crypto machine and pretty much wiped them out. We started looking around at what some other cities were doing. We found one city up in Nebraska that had actually passed an ordinance similar to what we're going to propose tonight, and we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. Like I said, it's one of the big fraudulent scams right now, and it seems to target very vulnerable members of society. They use fear, intimidation, coercion to convince unwitting victims to deposit large sums of money or multiple sums of money at different machines using these virtual crypto ATMs. And the crimes are nearly impossible to investigate or recover funds. So if you can think of how difficult it's been for us to deal with the gift card scams, where somebody's talked into going and buying, thousands of dollars worth of gift cards, this is even more difficult. I mean, a lot of these are overseas depositors, or the recipients are bouncing funds from account to account around overseas. So they're almost impossible for us to investigate. The one that we're going to propose tonight, like I said, is very similar to some of the other communities that we've seen implement some of that. Matthias is going to talk about some of the state statute that currently is in place, but it deals specifically with the ATM. And by that point, our feeling is by the time they've started working that machine, that warning popping up on the machine is probably too late. We want something there in their face right before they even touch that machine. A lot of the times these individuals are on the phone with the person that's giving them instructions, like they're keeping them on the phone and instructing them on what to do, how to make the deposits, things like that. So we want to try to stop it before it even gets to them activating that machine. And Matthias is going to talk a little bit about the ordinance we're proposing, and you'll see an example of the sign that we want to be able to put up. One thing we did find, I sent Day Shift out to try to get an idea. I initially thought we had 2 or 3 machines in the city. I think we've got 9 different machines. Some businesses have 2 machines because they're different companies. So there's a great potential for us to see, increased losses for people, and we want to try to at least get ahead of that a little bit. Guys?
Mayor, members of council. By way of introduction, my name is Matthias Young. I work at the firm Williams & Campo, who is you all's city's attorney. I know I haven't been in front of you all before, so it's good to be here tonight to talk about this ordinance. Kind of like the chief said, we're looking at, there's already some state level regulation, but that state level regulation really does target the ATMs themselves. So it requires certain warnings to pop up on the screen, things that have to be included in the terms of service, all stuff that could be easily missed if someone's in a really high-pressure situation where they are being kind of coerced to put money into this machine. So what the ordinance does is it slots into the existing business licensing kind of schedules that the city has, and it requires that anyone who's going to host one of these crypto ATMs, so grocery store, gas station, smoke shop, that sort of business, has to get an additional license from the city that allows the city to know, hey, we have these machines and we know where they're located. And then the big part is that it requires a warning to be posted either on the sign itself or in a conspicuous location adjacent to the ATM so that we have that physical warning in front of the person before they even begin to interact with the machine. And then if if an employee of the business hosting the machine, does make that catch, gets PD involved, having that additional licensure, PD knows where these are, they can respond quicker and hopefully get to these people before they put the money in the machine. And then by that point, it's a lot more difficult for PD to really do anything with it. And so like most other business licensing ordinance violations, this, if you have one of these machines, you don't have the license, it's the general misdemeanor, $500 recoverable with costs each day is a continued violation for every day that they don't have the license. And then, there we go. That is sort of the example sign that Chief Ferris came up with. The language itself is included in the ordinance, and the language in the ordinance, and that would go into, whatever final sign that PD comes up with, closely tracks the existing warning language that is required from the state statute. So these ATMs are already required to have similar language pop up actually on the screen. This is that additional layer, a physical sign on the machine before they even begin to interact with it. I'm happy to answer any questions that council might have.
Any questions?
Mayor? Matthias, is there any way, and I don't know if there is, to put this actually on the screen itself, that it would be a part of the programming of that machine?
So that's sort of where the state level, the state statute comes in. The statute does require that before anyone engages in an actual transaction on the ATM, that a warning pops up saying, in substantially similar language, has anyone been giving you instructions to make payments? Is this, do you think you're bailing someone out of jail? Do you think you're paying the utility bill? Stop. We wanted to go so that sort of language is already there on the machine, and the machine itself is regulated by the state statute. So another kind of drafting consideration was we wanted to make sure, the state is regulating the machine. We want to make sure we're regulating the business hosting the machine.
Councilman Nave.
Chief, do appreciate you bringing this forward. These crimes are terribly hard to investigate. Sitting on the banking side of this, I've seen the losses that happen. A lot of times funds are transferred between accounts, then eventually leave the country where they're almost impossible to recover. But kind of going along with Councilman Spallo's point, will there be any sort of checks on how conspicuous these signs are in their posting after this ordinance goes into effect?
Yeah, the nice thing is, like I said, we've already sent, Patrol's the one that actually found and did the count on how many of them we had. They went to the businesses. Once it's implemented, when they're in there on calls, and what our plan is to hit all those businesses, give them a copy of the new ordinance, explain it to them, tell them where it's got to be posted, show it where it's got to be posted, kind of explain the ramifications if they don't, and then we'll do spot checks, or if they're on calls for service or whatever, they'll know to look for those things.
Excellent.
Thank you. So Chief, $500 fine upon conviction, what's the process for conviction? Is it a court issue or is it on the spot citation?
Yeah, we would issue them a citation just like any other city violation. and then give them a court date. The business owner or the business manager, whoever, would have a court date to appear.
So I read today that there's $247 million lost to crypto ATM scams in 2024. Many of you have heard me say, as we've talked about it, that no one could ever scam my mother because she didn't trust anybody. Unfortunately, my father-in-law trusted everybody, and he came this close to getting scammed for about $37,000. So, I mean, it is a real thing. I also read that in some cases, the operators, or the store owners who may have these machines in their place are complicit in money laundering and other things. Do we have a way to investigate them?
You know, I don't know how we would go about doing that. One, showing the intent for that would be extremely difficult. I don't know if they get a fee off like the amount of money that's transacted through these, like another ATM would. We've got an ATM in the jail downstairs, and we don't pay anything for that. They take a fee out of that. So I don't know if these operate the same way or not. I think our biggest way to deal with this right now is just to be proactive. Just because it's, like I said, it is so incredibly difficult. The county just investigated one I heard about last week. It was $110,000 from an elderly couple. And they intercepted it because the couple had also been talked into mailing another $14,000 through the mail, and somehow the mail picked up on it and flagged it, turned it over to Kansas City Police, who turned it over to the county, and they at least recovered that amount back for them. I mean, that's how needle in the haystack these type of things are.
Mayor,
Councilman
quick
Davis.
question. Yeah. This is an ignorant question, but the fact of the matter is these guys are really good, right? I've been on a phone call with them before, and they get you to do almost anything, and they keep you on the phone, like you guys mentioned. The ignorant question I have is there a way to avoid this? I haven't used an ATM in forever. I didn't even know that you could send money through an ATM. Shows my ignorance there. But is there a way to avoid that type of model at all?
I don't think so. And keep in mind, these aren't regular ATMs. These aren't the ATMs.
specific
They're
crypto.
specific just for cryptocurrency. So there's companies out there like CVS up here has 2 of them from 2 different companies. So the companies have their own marketing plan and they manage their own crypto machines. So you can't do this stuff on your ATM at the credit union or
right.
UMB
Okay.
or whatever.
Is there an extra fee for the business license for
I
people?
think we were proposing in the ordinance is a $1 license fee to cover that. And really the reason, like Matthias said, is for us to do that is so we now have a list of where they're at instead of us having to kind of stumble into them like we did before.
What's the rationale behind only $1?
The rationale behind only $1, we kind of looked at the city's tobacco ordinance as kind of a model. It's a similar sort of, if you want to sell this product, host this machine, you need a license and you need to post a warning. The tobacco ordinance currently, you have to get a license and pay a fee of $1. And it's there explicitly so that the city, not necessarily as a revenue generating measure or a way to maybe discourage businesses from engaging in this sort of activity. It's the barrier is low so that businesses are more inclined to comply, and the more compliance we get, the better of an idea we have of where these machines are and who's operating them.
Same concept as us requiring a permit for short-term rentals. We know where they are. We might also just survey other communities for what their fee is for permits for tobacco sales. City manager? Great. Any other questions? Very good, thank you. So, that concludes our study session for this evening. We have 15 minutes to network, and we'll see you at 7:30. to order the regular Gladstone City Council meeting on this 9th day of March, 2026. Madam Clerk, please note all council members are present. And if you will please stand and join us in Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance Thank you. Item 4 is approval of the agenda. Any comments to the agenda this evening, council members? Hearing none, shall stand as submitted. Item 5 is approval of the February 23rd, 2026 closed city council meeting minutes.
Mayor Smith.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
I move for the approval of the February 23, 2026 closed city council meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Next is the approval of the February 23, 2026 regular city council meeting minutes.
Mayor Smith,
Councilman Davis.
I move for the approval of the February 23rd, 2026 regular city council meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Those minutes are approved as well. Next, we would like to invite anyone who would like to address the council this evening to step forward. Give us your name and address for the record, please. Any takers? Don't all jump up now. Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 8, which is communications from the city council. Councilman Nave.
Thanks, Mayor. One quick announcement. March 11th is the last day to register to vote for the April 7th municipal city council election. And then I'd also like to just take a few moments to say something, if I may. Been doing a lot of reflecting over the past week or so. Last week was National Women in Construction Week, and do a lot of lending and banking with women in construction. Sunday was also International Women's Day. But most importantly, Saturday was the third anniversary of my mother's death. With all of these things with women just kind of swirling around, I just urge you to take a few moments to just remember all of the strong women in your own lives. Thanks.
Thank you.
Nice.
Councilman Davis.
Make me follow that. Love you, brother.
It's okay,
Right. Two quick things. One, I either traveled last week and told multiple people that I was from Kansas City and Gladstone area, and everyone was like, World Cup, World Cup, World Cup. So I can't fathom the excitement around the country, and there was a lot of foreign around as well, but everyone is recognizing that we are hosting it. So get ready for it. It's real, it's coming, it is what it is, and it's gonna be exciting times. Second thing, real quick, on March 12th here, 8:30 to 10:30 at Class Act Coffee, there's a Let's Talk community discussion with KSHB 41 News. It's about public conversation with the local news team. So if you have any conversations that you want to have, talk about, community issues, opportunities, stuff like that, there's an opportunity for you guys.
Thank you. Councilmember Spallo.
Just one item tonight, Mayor. A similar reminder is that this Thursday night, March 12th, I think it is from 6 to 8 p.m., Senator Maggie Nernburn is hosting a town hall at the Antioch Branch Library. So if you have an opportunity to join that evening, it'd be great to see you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
Thank you, Mayor. We had to unfortunately cancel the Glad Green team for this past Saturday because it was cold and soggy and yucky. So my hope is, for those of you who are signed up, that we're going to try to do a special cleanup on another day. So just watch for your emails. You need to get out there and pick up trash.
Thank you. I have nothing this evening. City Manager Bob Baer.
Thank you, Mayor. As Councilman Nave mentioned about the registration for the upcoming election being this Wednesday, March 11th, residents can visit the city's website and check out the voter registration, see if their voter registration, and then find out other helpful election links that we've put on there. And finally, the website for Freedom Fest is now live at the GladstoneFreedomFest.com, so residents can visit the site for event details and updates as we prepare for the 250th July 4th celebration at Happy Rock Park. That is all.
Thank you. Item 10 is a consent agenda. Madam Clerk, will you please explain and read the consent agenda?
A consent agenda allows the city council to consider and approve routine items of business without discussion. Any member of the city council, the city staff, or the public may request removal of any item from the consent agenda and request that it be considered under the regular agenda if discussion or debate of the item is desired. Items not removed from the consent agenda will stand approved upon motion by any council member. Second, unanimous vote to approve the consent agenda as published or modified. Consent agenda, special event permit, Happy Rock Park East, flashlight Easter egg hunt, Friday, March 27, 2026, 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m. Rain date, Saturday, March 28, 2026, 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m. Walk and Wag, Happy Rock Park East, Saturday, April 18, 2026, 8 o'clock a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m. Special event permit, Happy Rock Park West, Touch a Truck, Saturday, May 2nd, 2026, 9 o'clock a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m. Special event permit, Atkins Johnson Farm and Museum, afternoon tea, Saturday, May 9, 2026, 1:30 to 3 o'clock p.m. Special event permit, Linden Square, food, art, drink, Saturday, June 6, 2026, 12 o'clock to 10 o'clock p.m. Resolution R-26-13, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a First Amendment to the site lease with Cellco Partnership, DBA Verizon Wireless at 5925 North Flora Avenue. Consider semi-annual financial statement for the 6 months ended December 2025.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience, any staff member, or any council member like an item removed for discussion? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Mayor Smith,
Councilmember Spallo.
I move for the approval of the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Consent agenda has been approved. Item 11 is the first reading of bill number 26-06, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gladstone, Missouri, to amend Title V, Businesses and Occupations, to add Chapter 125 to address concerns regarding virtual currency kiosks.
Mayor Moore? Oh, no, not yet. Mayor Smith. In big trouble.
Esteemed Councilmember Spallo.
Thank you. Okay, I move to place bill number 26-06 on its first reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same side. Madam Clerk, will you please read the bill?
First reading bill number 26-06, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gladstone, Missouri to amend Title V, Businesses and Occupations, to add Chapter 125 to address concerns regarding virtual currency kiosks.
Mayor Smith.
Councilmember Spallo.
I move to accept the first reading of bill number 26-06, waive the rule and place the bill on its second and final reading.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Madam Clerk.
Second reading bill number 26-06, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gladstone, Missouri to amend Title V, Businesses and Occupations, to add Chapter 125 to address concerns regarding virtual currency kiosks.
Mayor Smith.
Councilmember Spallo.
I move to accept the second and final reading of bill number 26-06 and enact it as ordinance number 4.724.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Nave?
Aye.
Councilman Davis?
Aye.
Councilmember Spallo?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore?
Aye.
Mayor Smith?
Aye. Bill number 26-06 has been enacted as ordinance 4.724. Resolution R-26-14, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a time and materials contract with Infrastructure Solutions, LLC, the total amount not to exceed $200,000 for on-call emergency water system repairs, project WP 2690.
Mayor Smith,
Councilman Davis.
I move to adopt resolution R-26-14.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll be abstaining from this vote.
Resolution R-26-14 has been approved. Only thing I have under business, I did forget something, this is really exciting, is that we have an official grand reopening date for General Mills / La Tierra Taco Factory. and that will be on April the 10th at 11 a.m. Public is certainly welcome. Anything else? Thank you. We are adjourned.